I'm back with a GoPro tips and tricks video comparing the difference between the GoPro Dive Housing here on my left and the GoPro, the GoPro original, I'm going to call it the original GoPro housing here on my right. I think the right and left are going to be right on the video. I hope so. Anyway, the first thing that definitely comes to mind is the size of the lens. It's a lot bigger on the top, and or on the side here you can see it sticks out about ½ inch. On the top it sticks out a fair bit. The bottom isn't affected too much, but it also is quite a bit thicker. I don't know if you can see that, but if we lay them down like this, it is a fair bit thicker. I don't know if it's thicker than the front of the original GoPro lens, but it's definitely thicker throughout the whole thing. It does make the camera just feel quite a bit beefier. And one thing that I have noticed, just pop off the lens cap here, that I think some of you will be interested in. It is a glass lens. I believe the original GoPro lens, I think it was plastic, so that could be a big upgrade for any of you that want a sharper picture. It is glass lens. They do say so on their website. They say it's a flat glass lens, so any of you that are wondering, that is the lens, flat glass. One thing that I have noticed is that the LCD screen is covered by the lens a fair bit. If I turn the camera on here, you can see you can't actually see all of the LCD screen. There's no SD card in it right now, but you should be able to see that you can't see it all. And if I turn this one on, you'll be able to see that how much more of the LCD screen there is than is showing here. Even if you tilt it really to the side, you lose the ability to see the LCD screen before you actually see all of it, just because of the angle, the viewing angle. So that is a bit of a drawback. I don't think you would want to use the GoPro, the dive housing as an everyday camera. I have not yet done a out-of-water comparison of the two in focal distances. That I am in the middle of working on right now, and it should be up soon. But there is an underwater one out, and it is incredible, the difference in sharpness between the two. So definitely, if you are a diver or going snorkeling, the dive housing is a bit of a no-brainer. But for out-of-water use, I think you're going to definitely try to just stick with the original GoPro housing, especially because, well, you're not buying the camera with the dive housing. The dive housing is an add-on, so all of you will have an original GoPro housing. I think it's a good idea to switch back to that when you're using it out of the water. GoPro has given a nice little lens cap for it. Hard plastic, again, hard plastic, not soft neoprene or rubber like it might look like it is. It's hard plastic. It is a good idea though, because this is definitely a very big lens, and it is very likely this is going to get scratched. Well, one or two other things here that I would like to say that are kind of cool. They've changed, they're now gone to an Allen key style screws around the lens compared to the original housing, which was a crisscross. And if you were really determined to put this lens onto a wrist housing, I know GoPro's website says it doesn't work, but if you were determined to put this lens onto a wrist housing, you could do it. You could undo all of these screws, and then you take apart the lens, and then you undo the thing that mounted the lens onto the camera around there, and take that apart, and then you would take off the lens off of the wrist housing, and you could then mount the dive housing just the lens from the dive housing onto the wrist housing itself. So if you are a scuba diver out there and you love your wrist housing, you can actually, I believe you can move your lens from the dive housing onto a wrist housing without too much difficulty. I haven't tried it. I don't really plan to try it, but if anyone's out there is curious, I believe that you could do that. There, shuts down my other one there. Other things to note, the housings are the same. The original GoPro and the dive housings, they're actually exactly the same housings. The only thing here that's changed is the lens piece. You can see there's a little curvature there from the original lens. So nothing on the actual housing itself has changed, just the lens. One thing that is kind of cool, there are a couple companies on the market that actually make a replacement lens for this. There's one I found which was red, which will correct the underwater, the discoloration which occurs at deep underwater due to color loss. So there's a red filter lens that you can put in here. I'm sure those of you that dive know a lot more about that than me, but that is something I have seen, and I've watched some sample videos of it, and it looks like it does an amazing job. So if you're interested in that, I think it was like $16 or something, so there is a available add-on for the dive housing, which was kind of cool. And apart from that, there's not that much noteworthy about it. It's again, like I said, it's a bit bigger. Well, it's quite a bit bigger, especially there on the side. That's the biggest bit that hangs over. And if anyone's wondering, the reason this lens is so big is because the GoPro has a 170-degree view. It has to be able to see 170 degrees from that. This can't be in the way of it. So that's why there's the cutouts inside it and why the lens is so big. It's because the GoPro has an incredibly huge field of view. And if this was any smaller, you would be getting a black ring around the photos, which was what happened with most of the aftermarket add-on lenses for the GoPro camera. With the GoPro, with the original housing to a flat lens that wasn't made by GoPro, was they got a black ring around it. And I'm sure there's some video online you've seen that has that in it. But GoPro has managed to completely fix that with this, and during my tests I have not got any shadowing or blackness around the edge of my frame from it seeing the lens itself. So that is why the GoPro lens, or the dive housing lens, is so big. It seems a little bit ridiculous for the size of the camera. The lens is just absolutely massive. But that's it really for my really in-detailed look at the dive housing itself. Like I say, it does cover up quite a bit of the LCD screen. A little bit annoying, but once you know your way around the menu, I haven't found it too bad. It's a fair bit bigger. Again, it hangs over the top and hangs over the side, and it just makes the camera feel bulkier. So keep that in mind. But apart from that, it seems to do an awesome job underwater from anything I've seen. It's nice it comes with a little lens cap, keeps the lens protected, and I mean, the results that I've seen underwater have been stunning. So thank you guys for watching. This is another GoPro mounting tips and tricks comparison video. If you've enjoyed the video, make sure you subscribe because there's lots more coming. And in the meantime, check out my channel because there's tons of videos on there which talk about almost everything to do with GoPros. And well, till next time guys, thanks for watching.